guys, it's Trina and this is my video of most anticipated releases of April and my April TBR. I'm going to start out by talking about the new releases this month because some of them are going to be on my TBR, and so I want to go ahead and tell you what they are about. The first April release that I'm looking forward to comes out on April 4th, and it is Waking Gods by Sylvain Neuvel. This is the sequel to Sleeping Giants, which I read a couple of months ago, and I really enjoyed that book. It's an adult science fiction series about these different statues that have been uncovered all around the world, and when they put them together they make up this one giant statue. And the cool thing about these books is that most of it takes place like in the form of interviews or personal diaries of the people who are involved in either researching this figure and trying to figure out where it came from and what it is. I'm really excited about this book, but I doubt that I'm actually going to read it this month because I am holding out to listen to the audiobook, because the audiobook production of book one was so great, and my library's Overdrive app has a somewhat long wait line for it, so I doubt I'm going to actually get it this month, but nonetheless I am really excited about this release. Also on April 4th there is a debut novel coming out that sounds really intriguing to me. It's called Toward a Secret Sky by Heather McLean. This book has been compared to National Treasure and the Da Vinci Code. The main character is orphaned and she is sent to live with her grandparents in Scotland, and she comes across her mother's old diary and finds out that her mom might have been involved in some kind of like secret society. So she starts putting together clues from this diary and trying to figure out what was really going on. This mentions booby-trapped crypts and otherworldly mercenaries. I just was really intrigued by this premise. Another April debut that sounds really interesting to me is The Takedown by Corey Wang, which comes out on April 11th. And this one sounds kind of like a technological thriller. There's this girl who's like the perfect girl in her class, and then this video surfaces of her online doing something she shouldn't be doing with one of her teachers. But the thing is that this wasn't really her in the video. There's been like a hacker that altered the video to make it seem like it was her, so she's trying to clear her name. The whole element of like cyberbullying and cyberstalking and hacking, that's the element that kind of sounds really interesting to me, so I am looking forward to this one too. Two of my most anticipated releases of the year are coming out on April 11th. The first of these is The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli. I loved her first book, Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda, so much. It was my favorite book of last year, so I have been eagerly awaiting whatever Becky would write next, so I'm definitely going to be picking this one up. I haven't known too much about it, but I have heard people say that this one has amazing representation of a fat main character and a main character with anxiety, and that those things are kind of own voices. And I believe the main character has had like a lot of unrequited crushes in her life, and then when her sister actually gets a girlfriend for the first time, then that kind of pushes Molly outside of her comfort zone to actually pursue a dating relationship also. I don't exactly know the entire summary of it because I just need to know it's written by Becky Albertalli and I know I'm going to pick it up automatically. But if I'm doing a horrible job at explaining any of the books I ever mention, always check my description because I do put Goodreads links down there. My other most anticipated release of the year is Given to the Sea by Mindy McGinnis, which also comes out April 11th. Mindy is one of my favorite authors, and this is her first fantasy novel, and this is the first in a fantasy duology. This is a fantasy world about these different nations that all live on one island, and the water level is rising, so all of these different nations are trying to fight to control the top of the island. I'm so stinking excited for this one just because it's a Mindy book, and I have loved everything that she's written so far. I'm really eager to see her take on fantasy, which is a new genre from her. She just writes new genres all the time. Onto my TBR for the month. The first two books on my TBR that I want to try and read this month are Given to the Sea by Mindy McGinnis, which I just talked about, and The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertalli, which I just talked about. These are both like auto-buy authors for me, so I want to read these books as soon as I possibly can. This month I also want to read The Seafarer's Kiss by Julia Ember. I was sent an advanced copy of this one by Julia, and this one comes out in May, so I want to be sure that I read it this month and get my review done and posted to let you guys know about it. But this one is a retelling of The Little Mermaid, and it has a lot of Norse mythology elements in it. Our main character in this one, the mermaid, she's actually bisexual. She has been betrothed to this mer-guy all of her life, and then she ends up saving the life of a shield maiden on land and falling for her instead. And I think that the sea witch element of this, like Ursula from The Little Mermaid, is actually the Norse god Loki. And that sounds really interesting to me. I was really interested in this book. I'd heard some really good reviews of it beforehand, and then just being offered the chance to read this book early, I was like, yes, I love mermaids, and I believe that this is own voices by representation. This month I'm also hoping to read The Circle by Dave Eggers. This is a adult sci-fi. I think that I've heard that it's social media is actually taking over our lives, and so that sounds like a really interesting premise to me. There is a movie of this one that is coming out. It's starring Emma Watson. I've had this book out from the library before, and then I just like sent it back because I didn't read it in time, but since the movie is coming out, I feel like that's a really good motivation for me to actually read this book this time. So you guys can hold me accountable. I really want to get to this one this month, and yeah, that's all I know about it. So those are the books I'm hoping I can get through this month, and some of the new releases that I'm most looking forward to. Let me know what books that you're most anticipating that come out in April, or what you're planning to read this month. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the comments. Bye!